Achievement Motivation Concept. Douglas McGregor, an American educator, criticizes the traditional management approach, Theory X, of individual motivation, stressing direction and control as psychologically inadequate. So, what is this Theory X? Theory X is a management approach that assumes employees inherently dislike work, are or lazy, and need to be closely supervised and controlled to be motivated. This perspective often leads to an authoritarian management style, where employees are directed and rewards and punishments are used to motivate them. He proposes that managers should consider a motivational approach to management, Theory Y, which would emphasize creating opportunities, encouraging growth, and providing guidance, management by objective, instead of management by control. So, what is this Theory Y? Theory Y, according to Douglas McGregor, posits that employees are intrinsically motivated, enjoy work, and are capable of taking on responsibility and creativity. It's a more positive view of employees compared to Theory X, which assumes workers are lazy and need constant supervision. Theory Y encourages a participative and trusting management style, fostering a positive work environment where employees can be empowered and engage in creative problem solving. McGregor's concept for motivation theory is based on the need for achievement. He believes that much of the failure of the human relation approach stem from the fact that most managers work on Theory X, regarding human nature in general and employee nature in particular. For him, Theory X holds that human beings just naturally dislike work and must be coerced into putting forth adequate effort on the job. It also holds that most people want security above all and will attempt to avoid responsibility whenever they can. So, on the other hand, McGregor's Theory Y has undertones of achievement motivation. He proposes that managers adopt Theory Y, which includes the following prepositions. Number 1 is the expenditure of physical and mental effort in work is as natural as play or rest. Depending upon controllable conditions, work may be a source of satisfaction or a source of punishment. Number 2 is man will exercise self-direction and self-control in the service of objectives to which he is committed. Number 3 is commitment to objectives is a function of rewards associated with their achievement. The most significant of such rewards, the satisfaction of ego and self-actualization needs, can be the direct products of effort directed toward organizational objectives. So the statement emphasizes that an individual's dedication to achieving organizational objectives is directly linked to the rewards associated with that achievement. Specifically, it highlights that the most significant rewards, such as the satisfaction of ego and self-actualization needs, can be the direct outcome of effort directed towards organizational goals. Number 4. The average human being learns, under proper conditions, not only to accept but to seek responsibility. So, this statement, it describes a view of human nature that contrasts with Theory X, which assumes people inherently dislike work and need constant direction and control. Number 5. The capacity to exercise a relatively high degree of imagination, ingenuity, and creativity in the solution of organizational problems is widely, not narrowly, distributed in the population. So this statement posits that individuals inherently possess creativity and problem-solving abilities, and that fostering this capacity is essential for organizational success. And number 6. Under the conditions of modern industrial life, the intellectual potentialities of the average human beings are not only partially utilized, So this statement suggests that in modern industrial settings, the intellectual capabilities of most people are not fully tapped. Instead, they are only partially used, and that is a significant area for improvement in how managers view and utilize their workforce. McGregor's theories can be related to Maslow's need hierarchy. They are based on the assumption that human needs are factors in motivating people to perform organizational tasks. So the next is motivational approach to management. Francis Likert, an American psychologist, based his motivational approach to management on a number of empirical studies conducted on differences between good and bad supervisors. For him, good supervisors are those whose groups achieve high productivity, and the bad supervisors are those whose groups produce low output. Likert's research shows the weaknesses of supervisory approaches to management which are directly production-centered. For him, maximum production results are based on the manager's understanding of the characteristics of the groups and individuals on whom the supervisors depend for results. In stressing the importance of the work group, Likert concludes that management will make full use of the potential capacities of its human resources only when each person in an organization is a member of one or more well-knit, effectively functioning work groups that have high skills of interaction and high performance goals. So this statement highlights that organizations maximize their human resource potential when employees are part of effective, well-functioning work groups with strong interaction skills and high performance goals. Moreover, Likert suggests that management should organize work groups following those criteria instead of using traditional man-to-man pattern. So man-to-man pattern refers to a traditional hierarchical organizational structure where each employee reports directly to a single supervisor. He also suggests that these work groups be linked by means of overlapping groups of supervisors. He called these groups as the linking pins. So what is linking pins? Linking pins are individuals who serve as connecting points between different work groups or levels within an organization.